welcome. We are going to do a football wreath today. I know it seems kind of early, but I am doing a craft fair next weekend right before Father's Day. So I wanted to try and have a little bit more man-friendly wreaths ready to go. So we're going to do a Denver Bronco one today. So hang tight while I put my camera up. Hang on, you might get a little dizzy. Alright, I think that's good. So let's see how we do. Shut the door there. My daughter has friends over, and I'm sure they don't want to hear me talking. So we're going to do a Bronco one today. This wreath's going to go a little bit, video's going to go a little bit faster because I've already pre-cut everything. Just thought I would do a short one. So we're going to do the, I think you call it the scrunch method. I call it the scrunch method. But we're going to do a Denver Bronco one today. And I had originally all Bronco colors picked out, but because the sign seems kind of old to me, I wanted to go more on an old feel. So I went ahead with orange and blue for the team colors for our first ribbon. And then I have an antique football. And then we're going to do denim polka dot to match the sign, and then just some plain burlap. So I'm going to do those two ribbons together and these two ribbons together. And then I've cut a burlap with white snowball deco mesh in about 22-inch pieces. I think I have enough for every tie, to be honest with you. I might be a little short because I'm combining a couple different rolls together that are left over. And then I'm going to put in some denim color, again, to go with the sign. Not on every tie, just scattered about every other tie. So let's see how we go. To start off with, I glued my business card on the back of all my signs, and then I hot glued some zip tie mounts. Since it's wood, I hot glue. When it's metal, you have to use super glue. The hot glue will pop off. So I always do that first so that the hot glue can set up. And first off, let's get our ties up. It's just easier to get them all ready to go instead of trying to open them up when you tie each one on. All right, now let's get some mesh on there. So I've seen a lot of videos where they put the mesh out and then they scrunch it like this. Okay, then you squeeze in the middle, and you're just gonna go in and stick it on a tie. We're gonna just do one twist because we have to go back and put the ribbons on later, so there's no sense to do a bunch of twists. Then just lay it out like it's going to show. Now for me, I find that time consuming. I kind of cheat. This is the end of the roll, so it's really curly. I just come in like this. I think it works a lot faster, and as far as I can tell, it looks the same. Okay, then we're just going to go around. I'm going to do all of the natural mesh first. Then once it's all in, I'll come back and do the denim. And depends on what works best for you. You can do the whole bottom row first and then come back and do the top row, or you can just go alternate like I am now. When I'm doing the poof method with the 21-inch mesh, I go all the way around the bottom and then come back and do the top. But I don't feel like there's any reason that I need to do that with this style. All right, so there's no need for you guys to sit and watch me. So I will finish doing this off camera, and then we'll pick up when to put on the denim.
it capable of?
Slamming doors, flickering lights. One time the whole second floor disappeared for a week. Whoa, nice to see you too, Tabitha. Don't worry, it's not you I need to interrogate. They won't be staying long.
Domenico fails to retrieve her. You fail to retrieve her. And now what? Are you saying that we've lost her altogether? You expect us to believe that?
You seem extraordinarily interested in Diana Bishop, Agatha. Is there something you'd like to tell us?
My interest is in the Book of Life. You promised that Diana would answer our questions.
And she will. Once we find Sass'n and bring her and Diana home.
Satu has Diana.
I'm afraid it looks that way. Gentlemen.
Our team repeated the spell work and got exactly the same result. There are two distinct magical signatures. Satu is with another witch.
Do we think that Diana is an ally or a prisoner?
Unclear, I'm afraid.
Let us keep the search going round the clock. I want her found. Why isn't Jabir here? Do you know where he is? They missed you around to visit Finder. The rest of you can go home. For now, let us each take care of our own.
I intend to.
When we designed Telluride, we asked ourselves, will it be ruthless?
What is wrong with me?
Sweetie.
What?
You know what was wrong with me?
Diana? Honey, oh my God. Did the house like you out? What did I say? I said the house wouldn't like him.
The house likes him fine. Tell me the truth. All this time, did you know what was wrong with me?
Why don't we just go inside?
No, tell me now.
What's going on?
Did you know that I was spellbound?
What? I guess that you might be, yes.
Who was it?
Donna, you have to understand.
Who? Who was it?
Rebecca and Stephen. Honey, your parents. No, Anne, no, I don't believe it. Rebecca? She would never put her
Tell me why. What is wrong with me?
Oh, sweetie. Honey, there's nothing wrong with you.
No, you do not do that for no reason. Not to your child, not to anyone.
Believe me, Diana.
All right, so got all the natural mesh in, and now we're gonna go back and do accent with the denim. I got one in there already, and I think I cut enough that we're gonna do every other one. And I like to undo the tie. It's a little more time consuming, but I have found, I feel like when you stack them without undoing the tie, so you twist it once, and then you put the next thing in and twist it again. So if you're using two meshes, and then if you're using ribbon on top of it, I feel like it just stacks too thick. So this is a Hobby Lobby work form, so it doesn't have an even amount of ties. So I'm gonna do this here. I'll hop down to this bottom row and then decide if I want to do two right next to each other once we see what it looks like. I'm trying to decide. I wish they spaced them evenly because now I have two right there. But once you get the ribbon on, you really won't be able to tell. I just realized you can probably hear my kid's TV in the background. I'm super sorry about that. Maybe if I throw a little bit of music on, it will counteract the TV sound. I'll find something nice and relaxing. Oh, it's my relaxing playlist. So we've got some piano, some Braveheart, I think Last of the Mohicans, the Piano Guys, something nice and quiet. I guess you can't have quiet music. Do you know what I mean? Relaxing. Alright, so here I am. If I do another one, they'll be right next to each other. I definitely need I need to have three on. I'm gonna do one here. Oh, I should have used a regular work form since I'm just adding it scattered. Well, let's try it. I didn't really want to put blue in every one. But now I have a lot of blue here and not as much here. Let me take this one out. Let's try this and see what it does. I think once we get the ribbon on, you won't even be able to tell the difference. All right, so we'll do that basic burlap with our polka dots. And as you can see, I fishtailed them all already. Dovetail, fishtail, there's all kinds of different names for it. All right, this doesn't matter which one's on top. So you just want to line them up so they're even, pinch in the middle, unstrap, and in it goes. I wonder if since it's every other one, I don't want to put the denim on the blue. So let's go this way first. And then you want to give it a good 3 twists and then just turn the edges down and then pull your ribbons opposite directions. And then we'll go on to number 2. Kind of fold them over, round them a little bit before you turn them, pull them apart. reason I'm not putting the denim mesh in every one, to be honest with you, is price. The Bronco sign was $15, so that's gonna make this one of a pricier wreaths already because of the price of the sign. And then that denim mesh is $9, so that's a high price for a 10-inch mesh. And I want to make sure that it's still affordable. If I put that mesh throughout the whole thing, I would be probably close to $90 for the wreath, and I'm not sure somebody would pay $90. So right now I'm at $85 as it is. I might be able to pull off $80. So I'm not sure someone's gonna pay $85. So you just alternate your ribbons. That way you don't lose track of where you're at. Now, you can go all the way around like I am, do the bottom row, and then do the top row. As you get a little more experienced, you could alternate back and forth. Since I know I want this to be the Bronco team colors in the football, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in now. Oh, can you guys hear the song in the background? It's a Braveheart song. It's actually the song that I walked down the aisle to 15 and a half years ago. And I love it. Every time I hear it, it just takes me right back to that day. So now we're gonna just alternate back and forth. So the reason we did Braveheart is a lot of churches do not let you come down the aisle to the song Here Comes the Bride. I can't give you the exact technical reason, but it has to do with the fact, one, if I understand correctly, it's from an opera, and the scene that has that song in it is performed by pigs, I think it was, and they're actually mocking marriage, and so the church doesn't want you to use a song, obviously, that's mocking marriage. And it's also either the composer of the opera or just the opera itself Hitler was a fan of it. And so the church wants to stay away from Hitler with obvious reason too. At the time, I was a wedding photographer, and I had heard the wedding march so many times that I just couldn't imagine. I think that's like Canon D or something like that, a classical song. I just did not want to come down the aisle to that, and so my husband and I were just like, what can we do that is something that's really memorable to us? Now, I'm going to interrupt that story. The Hobby Lobby ones are not an even amount of ties, and so you're going to get to the point where you're going to have two ribbons side by side. Since I have two team ones there, I'm going to do the burlap and the polka dot next to each other to finish off this row. I'm not a huge fan of the Hobby Lobby ones. One reason I don't like the really thin ties, I like the puffy ones better, and they're uneven. But I got these on clearance for like $1 a piece after Valentine's Day, so I'd have been crazy not to buy them. All right, so now we're gonna switch back to the burlap and the denim. Okay, so anyways, back to our story. We were trying to come up with something that would be memorable and special to us, and we absolutely loved Braveheart. It was one of the first movies that we watched together, and we actually had the soundtrack. We would listen to the soundtrack on car rides, and it came on one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, why don't we come down the aisle? I come down the aisle to this. So we did the song For the Love of a Princess, which is the scene where William Wallace and the princess are in the little shack out in the country. And the very beginning of the song, there's a few seconds of just instrumental. and then it kind of crescendos, that's the word. And that's the point where they opened the doors, and I was standing there for my husband, and it was just absolutely perfect. So here we are. We ended up with 3 of the team color and the football together, and there's just kind of nothing you can do about it. And don't think, maybe what I'll do, I could either put the sign in the middle like this, or let's turn this and make this upside down. I could put it down here, and then that would cover up some of that ribbon. We could even turn it and put the sign kind of catty corner. So let's see. Oh my gosh. Let me stand up and take a look. I'm feeling like when it's off to the side, you don't see the sign quite as much. I think you see it more in the middle. So, I'm wondering if I could somehow pull the orange maybe if I could this tie and put all the ribbons that way. Sometimes if you just move them around, I'm trying to get all the football up and switch out the team colors. And that kind of breaks it up a little bit. I still feel like there's not enough orange here. So let's do the same thing. Let's move them out. That helped break it up some. Make these stick up just a little bit more so they're more prominent. I think that's better. Still think I'm going to go with the middle. This is a really small strap. I'm going to just cut that off. That's not going to do us any good. And that's why we put the zip ties on the back anyways. And I'm going to go with blue zip ties. They just slide right in the zip tie mounts. I get the zip tie mounts on Amazon. These I think are 1/2 inch, and then there's the bigger one that are 1 inch. The only reason I have 2 is I accidentally ordered the small ones by mistake. So I'll use the smaller ones on a small light sign, but if I have a bigger, heavier sign, then I'll use the 1 inch squared ones. All right, so we're gonna go right in the middle. Gonna reach down into here and find the frame. Make sure it's centered, flip it over. I just give it 1 or 2 twists to start with till I have it where I want, and I can actually see the other one, so I'm just gonna pull it through and then see if it's placed good. this side needs to come a little bit more. Awesome. Check that out. Okay. I'm going to tie it a little tighter. Now, as you saw, I have a business card that I've already glued to the back of there, but it doesn't help to put two on there just in case somebody doesn't see it. So I've punched holes in the corner of business cards, and then I slide it onto our pipe cleaner. Give it a couple twists there. Cut them off. Now you can use floral wire for this. I just find that the zip ties work easier for me. I mean, it's a little bit more money, but it's not that big of a deal. All right, guys, here we go. I don't know if that's backwards. I can't tell. I hope you guys like it. Have a great day. Bye.